JustinBarclay.com/good news for the latest. I told you that parents are fighting back. Speaking of the good news, it's not just in Florida where Ron DeSantis has signed this historic bill that protects kids down in Florida, but it's also here in our own backyard. One of those groups, Phil's parents fighting back for just education. Doug Lee on the phone with us this morning. Doug, how are you?
Good. Good morning. Thanks for having me on, Justin.
We appreciate you being here with us, and it's about this. You guys have an amazing group, and of course, you guys have been part of the fight. You're seeing some of these very issues, these divisive things about race and sexuality and gender, all these different things that the kids are being indoctrinated with in these schools. Last week, I to see not only did this bill pass, and then DeSantis signed it today or yesterday, but then also he passed something else last week that I thought that was really interesting. I thought, okay, let me just wait, see what people are going to have a problem with this. But it was all about teaching the students, the kids in school, financial literacy. In other words, credit scores, how to invest, little things like that. Maybe balance a budget. Well, I don't know why that might be important, but little things like that I thought, this is really something. We're seeing those things coming out of places like Florida, and I thought, what a wild world it would be. Can we just imagine for a moment if our kids were actually taught subjects that they're supposed to learn in school, maybe some things like that might be helpful for them when they get out, instead of all this divisive rhetoric about race and sexuality and all these other things. I know you guys are fighting this tooth and nail here.
We are. We've been organized now for about 18 months. I think one of the things that parents, and our group consists of parents, grandparents, alumni, and taxpayers, so it's the local community. There was a silver lining for us in COVID in that the teachers, they brought the classroom to their home, and so parents, for the very first time, could see the teachings and what's going on, and that sort of started the movement. The further we got down in trying to, get to the bottom of this, the crazier it got. This whole thing started in our colleges and universities. I have two daughters who graduated college, and all of a sudden I've got white privilege and dad's a racist. Well, then it wasn't too long after that it got into our public schools. It's called CRT, and it's taught through programs called what we call SEL, which is social emotional learning. These programs are sort of a wordplay, and that's how they get into our schools, because they use words like love, diversity, inclusion, equity. Who doesn't want diversity? So they sort of come under that umbrella, and it's hard to fight these things. And all of a sudden, you're called a racist if you disagree with them.
Right.
But even further, it's the rabbit hole gets even bigger. What our biggest challenge is try to get the information, and there's no transparency within our elected officials. In a typical year, before this group started, if you had 2-3 people attend the board meeting, you were doing good. And so for decades, taxpayers here in Forest Hills have opened up the checkbook to our schools and gave them basically a carte blanche check. We never turned down a tax bill because we've always supported our schools. But with that, all of a sudden now they're under a microscope and they don't know how to do it. So we're accused of attacking them. It's a hate group. It's just crazy. And when they're teaching, all we want is them not to teach these ideology of CRT to our kids. Leave these things left. There was an example from several parents at the beginning of this school year where their teacher sent the students home with the slip of how they want their kid to be identified as, what's their pronouns.
Wow.
Okay. Another big issue, and this kind of leads down to money, because I think a lot of things you can chase down to the money. We have a huge busing problem. To date, this school year, we have 470 bus cancellations. Our district wants to say, well, listen, we have all these cancellations because we have a shortage of bus drivers. But in the reality, we pay a bus driver $17 an hour and gets no benefits. Our superintendents employment package that costs taxpayers is $385,000 a year. And it gets even worse. He has 3 assistants. His first assistant costs our taxpayers $293,000 a year. His second assistant costs our taxpayers $292,000 a year. And our third assistant costs $290,000 a year. These are just for the assistants. The pork on the top is so heavy, and we're building a huge, all lavish administration building that taxpayers passed because we do support the schools. But I think what we found is, our money is being, there's no checks and balances, and it just went away to, I don't want to call it corruption, but just abuse. We were pushing for transparency, which is just simply getting our town or our school board meetings videotaped, so we could use some of the words they've seen and make sure and watch them if we can't attend to them. After months of working with them on this transparency, they hired a communication director that records the videos, pays him $100,000 a year, and he can't keep up. And there's only 3 meetings a month.
Hey, I'll take half and do it for him. I'll take half and do it for him. Doug, hang on. We got to take, and he has an assistant. Of course he does. Doug Lee, hang on 1 second. We got to take a break to do our news here because I know people want to know, how can I fight back? It's not just here in Forest Hills, but that's one of the places. Of course, he'll have some specifics on this. I know there's a recall going on that they want to talk about as well. So stand by. We'll grab that as soon as we come back from news here. Bottom of the hour plus Tech Tuesday on the way. Folks, parents fighting back. We're going to share how you can too. Right after this, it's West Michigan Live. All right. Yeah, Doug, just hold on 1 second, and as soon as we get back from the break here, we'll jump back on with you. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
and
I go through the board seats that are open, and then sort of bring it home after that.
Sounds good. All right, hang on 1 second, folks. I'm going to put Doug, put you on hold for just a moment. Okay. All right. Oh, boy. Did we get another warning, Gary? Did we get a warning on Facebook again today? Oh, boy. Yeah, Facebook is at it again. Some strange things going on. Probably because I said variant. That's probably because the title of this thing says variant. So that's why they're upset today. Can't have anybody getting the truth.
Good morning.
All right, there's the news he's on. Good deal. Okay. All right, folks. I will have Trent joining us here in just a little bit. If you're just tuning in now, what you are watching is the behind the scenes live stream. So basically, everything that happens while we're not on the air, you get to see a little bit. And we do 2 shows every day. I do a weekdays thing. We do the West Michigan Live Show, which is live on the radio from 9 to 10. And then we started the after show, a podcast that we stream live and record. That is, I think, folks said you just don't have enough time in that hour to get to everything we want you to get to. So we decided to start that behind the scenes live stream because the people asked for it, they demanded, and we said, let's give the people what they want. Let's give the people what they want. So tell me, folks, before I get into this, because you'll be able to see that a little bit later on too, what is Facebook doing today? Yesterday, they just cut us out altogether. And then everybody ended up going over to Rumble, which, by the way, if you'd like to, you can stream there at justinbarclay.com/Rumble. So what happened over on Facebook? Do we know? Looks like the Rumble stream is looking good on my end. Getter looks like it's good. Good morning, guys. If you've been there, Wheel God, iced tea for me and Tanya. Just a couple over there on Getter. Let's see what they say. Looks fine on my end. Still here on Facebook. Okay, the sound is breaking up. Amy says. Not sure about that. What is Rumble? Tony, type in justinbarclay.com/Rumble, and you'll see. Rumble's a kind of like it's a free speech version of YouTube. There's all types of videos and things like that. Dan Bongino, I think, the guy's behind that originally. So, but no issues ever usually over on Rumble. Video keeps going scrambled. Amy, that might be your internet connection. I'm going to put anything past the folks at Facebook, but that's probably your internet connection. Let me check in with Trent quickly. Trent, good morning. How are you, man? Can you see me? If you can hear me, your signal looks like it is like nothing. Your network connection. Now you're up to 100, it says, or 10 or whatever it is. There you are. Now you're down. Oh man, the tech guy having tech problems. It happens to the best of us. Now you're back up to 7 out of 10. Can you hear me though?
Can hear you, Justin. Can you hear me good?
All right, you look good. Don't move. I don't know if it's the wind blowing.
No, I was just switching our networks. We have multiple networks here, and I was using a better one, so it drops to nothing for a minute.
Of course you would. You have all the tricks, don't you? All right, hang on. We got to wrap up this conversation, Trent, and then we'll come to you and do some tech talk. Stand by. All right. What's my name on Truth, Ladina? It is at Mr. Justin Barclay. Let's see if I can find a link for you too. Hang on. Here we go. Tech Tuesday coming up, and another chance to join the program at any time. You can do that at 616-774-2424. But I know sometimes it's hard to get through on the phone, and you'd like to make sure that you contribute to the program. We'd love that. You can always text me on my text line, 616-201-3353. 616-201-3353. Jumping back on with Doug Lee from Forest Hills for Just Education, and you talking about what's happening. Doug, appreciate you being here with us, and you talking about what's happening in the schools and how parents are fighting back. And in fact, there's a recall effort underway in Forest Hills right now. I happen to be in this district, and I think another thing that people don't realize is that in this area, it's our property values are directly tied to things like the schools. And when you go and sell a home, things like that, because they want to come into this school district. Well, if they keep this stuff up, that's not going to continue, and our property values are going to drop. So we're talking about a number of issues. If you don't care about the kids, which you should, but if you don't care about the kids, you don't have kids or a horse in this race, you ought to think about in this area what it might do to property values. I just throw that in there, Doug, because it's a whole nother piece altogether.
Is that it's just ignorance and denial. I mean, it's so crazy what's going on. It's hard to believe. The good news is that we have 4 Board of Education members that are up for November, and we want to replace them with the conservative board. We want to actually recall one of the members that's not due up for election into 2024. Her name is Kristen Covelle, and she's a Caledonia high school teacher. That would give us 5 people on the election ballot in November, and we want to ensure this basically majority so we can get control back of schools. Now, the problem is we have to collect for Kristen, we have to collect 6,400 signatures by May 24th. And so what we need is volunteers. We need funding and donations to get this done. So we have weekly town meetings as well as an organized group, which we encourage the local community to come in and find out what's going on. Usually they come to one town hall meeting and we show them exactly what's happening, and they're a follow of ours. It's just getting through this ignorance and acceptance that because this was a great school district.
If people want to find out more, Doug, how they can be a part of this, maybe they want to contribute, maybe they want to volunteer, and they want to help in this recall process, what should they do?
Yeah, so what you can do is go to www.fhrecall.com. That's www.fhrecall.com. All the information is there. Or they can just simply pop in one of our town hall meetings. We have them every Wednesday at 6:30 at Jam and Bean in Cascade. It's a packed house. We bring a lot of technology so we can actually Zoom that meeting.
Wait a minute. Doug, wait a minute. You're telling me that you can Zoom your meeting from the Jam and Bean coffee shop down the street from me. You can Zoom that meeting, but this school board is telling you in Forest Hills they can't Zoom their meetings? How does that work?
Well, they don't want to. I mean, the Zooming a meeting brings transparency, and that's something they fight tooth and nail. Mm-hmm. So we get, 100 excuses to why it can't be done. It takes, we do a school board meeting. It's 3 weeks before they get it Zoomed because they want to edit it.
Oh, boy. Well, it just makes, it makes complete sense. I was going to say it makes no sense, but it makes complete sense. What I really want to say is that we ought to have, and very simply, transparency, accountability at every level of government, every level, and especially at the school board level.
School boards are some of the lowest elected positions. Most people don't even know when they're voting in November who these positions are. Mm-hmm. But that's been a ground game of these people running on our opposition. Mm-hmm. They managed to fill these positions because nobody was paying attention, and we got what we've got, and our eyes are wide open now. So I think that's the good news. Mm-hmm. Had it not been for COVID, this thing would have continued on and would have been so far in our public schools it would have been like our universities and colleges.
So we get sort of a gift here by parents being able to see the kids are Zooming. Well, that's strange. I guess there's a lot of Zooming happening apparently, and they can't do it at the school board level in Forest Hills. Sounds very strange and backwards to me. All of that money we're paying, and they can't figure out how to do that. It's probably because they got to have 5 people on payroll at $100,000 or more each to try and figure out the Zoom process. All right, listen. You're telling me that we're Zooming the classes. It's coming into the homes, and parents are starting to say, "Wait, you're teaching what to our kids?" And so this is where parents start to wake up. They're making a difference. Now the FBI wants to call parents at school board meetings who are concerned, asking questions, domestic terrorists. Well, it sounds like everyone's waking up. Parents are waking up to this, and this isn't going to this is going to be short-lived because people they're coming to the conclusion that they've got to vote. They got to pay attention to who's on the school board. And you all have a recall in progress. Again, if you want to go to the webpage, it's fhrecall.com. Is that correct?
That's correct, Justin.
All right, Doug Lee. Doug, please come back and give us more updates on this in the future. I appreciate your engagement in this. As someone with my little girl is going to be 16 months here in just a couple, and we're in this district. But I got to tell you, everything that I see and witness these days, I think, and this is coming from the son of a teacher. He taught 40 years. My wife's grandmother was one of the first, I think maybe the first female superintendent in the state. So we have education in our family, but I got to tell you, we both look at the state of things now and say, is there any way that we could, with a good conscience, ever send our kids into this system? And I think a lot of people are having those conversations today. And that, to me, is a shame. Doug, I appreciate you joining us today. Doug Lee.
Justin, one thing that I want to mention, just that our school district has been on a 10-year decrease. Every year we get less students every year. So people like yourself are making decisions to go private, some other type of school system. I mean, we know Forest Hills is growing. Look at the subdivisions, land's a premium here. And yet our Forest Hills school district is decreasing year after year after year because parents are making intelligent decisions what's best for their kids.
Doug Lee, Forest Hills for Just Education, the website, fhrecall.com. Thank you, Doug. I appreciate you in the fight. There's some good news today, folks. People are fighting back. They're standing up. And they're taking some ground. Back after this.